New at 5 o'clock, discipline, dedication, and resilience, all traits that are often taught and learned in the military. But there's nothing that can prepare someone for losing their eyesight. At least that's what we thought. And then we met retired Master Sergeant Jeffrey Mittman.
Hey, how you doing?
In the hallways of Bosma Enterprises,
Is that Rhonda?
Yeah. Jeffrey Mittman is a popular man, and he should be. He will soon be the first chief executive officer in the organization's 100-year history who is blind.
You're a good boss?
I would think so.
What if I talk to other people here? Would they say the same?
They will.
The confidence of a man who spent more than 20 years in the military, including 4 tours in Iraq. That is until July of 2005.
I was part of an advisory team to an Iraqi unit, and we went out to link up with them, and we were ambushed.
Mittman woke up a month later at Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Washington, D.C., and given the news that he would never see again.
Really, the first person I ever met who was visually impaired was myself.
He was 35 years old with a wife and 2 children, and in that moment, he knew that his career in the military was over.
I wondered to myself, well, what am I going to do now? That's just another outlet for us to provide jobs.
He found Bosma Enterprises.
This is our warehouse. This building,
an Indiana nonprofit that provides training and rehab for people who are blind or visually impaired. But the bulk of their work is done in the warehouse. Bosma produces items like examination gloves and surgical kits.
Last year, we produced almost 500 million gloves out of this ring. We packaged almost 500 million gloves for the Department of Veterans.
Billion with a B.
Billion with a B.
And a lot of the work is being done by employees who, like Jeffrey, are blind.
One of the issues people who are blind or visually impaired face is the misconceived notions of others.
People like Rhonda Chapman.
I've been here 13 years.
But blind for 17. Rhonda says she owes a lot to Bosma.
Did the job hunt thing for 5 years, was unsuccessful. Out there in the world on my own looking for a job. And then I came to Bosma and started on the glove line.
There are more than 150 employees like Rhonda at Bosma, and one of them now sitting in the big office behind the big desk. Jeffrey credits his years in the military for his success.
You're always taught to drive towards the mission, the accomplishment of the goal. And I think you just pick that up, you transfer it over to whatever situation you're in, and it works out the same way.
Jeffrey says he misses the military, but he has no regrets, no second thoughts. He's on a new mission now.
I would not trade my life for anybody else's. Now, I was injured, but if I look around, my life's pretty good. I can't complain.
I gotta love that. Like Jeffrey, there are 158,000 other veterans who are blind or visually impaired. Each year, close to 7,000 veterans lose their eyesight. If you or someone you know is visually impaired, we have a link in this story on wishtv.com with information on how to apply for a job at Bosma.